Breaking overnight, severe storms leaving a path of destruction across Indiana. Homes destroyed, people hurt, and 3 people in Sullivan, Indiana killed. The National Weather Service confirming at least 1 tornado overnight. From Sullivan to Whiteland, crews are now working to clean up all of the damage. We have full team coverage this morning tracking the damage and the cleanup efforts. Our Matthew Foltz is in Johnson County, John Duran in Sullivan County, where those 3 people were killed. We will get to each of them in just a moment, but first let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Monroe, who's been very busy tracking those storms from overnight. And Lindsay, what do we know so far about those storms and as we begin our day today?
Yeah, this goes back. We were warning you about the potential of some rotating storms. Angela and Sean were on the air for about 4 hours yesterday evening, and unfortunately a couple of those supercell thunderstorms did have rotation. 1 confirmed tornado. We're going to get more information from a Weather Service storm survey later today across the northern tier of the state, but I wanted to show you how we were a part of a bigger storm system over on. You can see all throughout the Midwest all the way down to the Mid-South. We had several storm reports within the past 24 hours. In fact, we've had 460 storm reports in total across the Midwest and the Mid-South. 55 tornado reports, 246 wind reports, and 159 hail reports. Here within central Indiana, most of these reports were wind-related damages. Now, we had that tornado report over you see near Robinson, Illinois, just across the border. That is the rotating storm that was confirmed as it moved into Sullivan County and then continued on that northeasterly track. So we know the Weather Service will be out surveying damage across portions of Sullivan, Johnson counties, as well as up in Clinton, Howard counties. Those will be the priority counties today, but we intend to keep constant communication with them and see what they do survey out there today. We are done with the severe weather. Now we're focusing on some strong wind gusts. And if you are Indianapolis West, you probably hear it outside already. 45 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts going to be a possibility now through the next several hours. This takes us through 11 o'clock this morning. That wind advisory remains in effect through 6 o'clock tonight. Looks like after about 6, we will finally start to see these winds easing a bit. And this is that much cooler air will settle in for us today. So we're looking at temperatures that will hold steady here. Upper 40s, 50s, and then that cooler air takes back over, and we've got steady temps in the 40s throughout the afternoon. Not going to rule out a stray rain shower either, but that shouldn't have much of an impact. Just some very light rain possible today. We've got big time improvements headed our way for Sunday. We're going to talk more about better weather coming up in your full forecast.
All right, we'll talk to you then. Thank you, Lindsay. And as we mentioned, Indiana State Police are confirming 3 people were killed in last night's storm in Sullivan, Indiana, and at least 1 tornado hit the area overnight. John Duran is live in Sullivan this morning. John, how extensive is the damage you're seeing from overnight?
Yeah, more and more people are up and outside, grabbing their phones, taking pictures of the damage and destruction in their small town, but also crews getting to work all over the place. This was the strip that was really badly hit. You can see at the end, front-end loaders moving debris, even moving a pickup truck in one instance. We spoke to someone who had their home leveled just next to this White House down this street. I asked him where he lived, and he said his house was next to this White House. So you just are hearing story after story of people waking up to destruction, and you see the look on their faces of disbelief, including one woman we spoke to who described what those moments were like when the tornado hit.
I got in bed about 10:30, and my stepdaughter came over, and about 5 minutes after she got here, I'm not for sure the approximate time, I got up. We heard whistles like a train. It was just roaring. Our ears started having a bad pressure. We had to put our hands over our ears. Everybody was running to the basement, and we got down there, and I heard glass shattering, and when we come back up, everything was just gone. And I mean, we have walls in, but our house is still standing.
And everybody's okay?
Yes, everybody is fine.
That was exactly what we just talked to another man who said it sounded like a freight train going by as this storm ripped through, tragically taking the lives of 3 people, according to state police. There's a lot of cleanup to be done, a lot of healing to be done in this community. As I said, everybody starting to come outside and realize just the damage this storm did late last night. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right. Thank you, John, for that live report. We'll check back in with you. Take a look at this backup overnight in Whiteland. INDOT crews tell us this was caused by storm damage, including, you can see kind of in the distance, an overturned semi. All lanes were closed on 65 North, which stalled traffic for hours. Here's video sent in by one of our viewers who was stuck in this backup debris covering the road. This has since been cleared out, and traffic is now moving as normal this morning. As we know, Whiteland was hit hard by the storms last night. This is an aerial view of the area of the damage provided by a viewer there in Whiteland. Emergency crews are asking anyone who does not live in this area of Whiteland to avoid the area. That's the ask from the Johnson County Sheriff's Department as crews continue to assess the damage. So our Matthew Foltz is in Whiteland right now, kind of staying away from some of the cleanup process, kind of stay out of first responders' way, but really giving us a first-hand look of what's going on there. Matthew, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Gina. In the last 20 minutes or so, I had to say the wind is really picking up down here, which is making the cleanup process a little bit tricky. But if you take a look behind me, the damage speaks for itself. Just unreal scene here in Whiteland this morning. You can see the damage. I'm not even sure what that building or structure was in front of me, but it was some type of building. You can see right here to the right of your screen, a local body shop that the roof has completely caved in. Multiple cars in this lot were destroyed by this severe weather. You can see cleanup crews, Whiteland police here on the scene as they help assess this damage. Excuse me, this wind is really a lot. And you can just see they're out here assessing this damage as multiple power lines are down. You can see to the right of your screen, this truck that's in the middle of the road, I was told it was supposed to be in that parking lot of that body shop. So you can just see the big effect that this storm had down here in the Whiteland community as the cleanup began. The good news this morning, though, there are no injuries that have been reported by police. So that's the good news this morning. But again, just a long process as this community works to heal as well as clean up. Gina.
Yeah, you can tell the wind definitely picking up there, Matthew. Stay safe. Thank you for that live report. And of course, as cleanup continues this morning, crews are also working to restore power to large areas of Indiana. Here's a look at current power outages from AES Indiana. We just checked. Here in Indy, there are still more than 2,000 people in the dark right now. Here's a look at Duke Energy outages across Indiana. As you can see, tens of thousands of people are still without power across the state. The highest numbers in Morgan County near Martinsville and Johnson County. We have reached out to both Duke and AES for a possible timeline on when service will be restored. We'll let you know just as soon as we hear back. We want to make sure you know who to contact for help if you have any severe weather damage. So if you live in Marion County, we have some information you may want to jot down. If a tree is knocked down, IMPD's non-emergency line is 317-327-3811. Here's the email address you can use to report ponding in your yard. Just contact the Department of Public Works at DPW Engineering at indy.gov. You can also call the Mayor's Action Center at 317-327-4622. And if you didn't get a chance to write all this down, we do have all this information posted for you on our weather blog on WTHR.com. We'll be right back with more continuing coverage of the storms.